Hey, Carmen.
Hi, Linda. Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm good. Great. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I guess usually we start with prostrations to the altar. Okay, so let's do that. Do we have anyone who's never been here before, who's maybe only been here for a couple of times or something? Okay, then would you like to take a moment to sort of get to know one another, say hello, whatever, greet? That's what Geshe usually likes. So we'll just take a few minutes to do that, to reconnect with friends.
Okay, everyone, let's wrap it up and we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, Jill. Thanks for your patience, everyone online.
Thank you very much for doing that. I think it's really important for the center to nurture its community and also to really make newcomers feel welcome and so that they want to return again. So thank you for doing that. I think it's very important, part of the whole Sunday program, especially because this is the program where usually people who are new to Buddhism come. So we want everyone to feel good about being here and to realize that we're really friendly people here. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share the screen. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. So if you'll turn to page 34, we'll start with by chanting Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Okay, so I think that as we recite that mantra, you know, we should visualize. I think I've said this before about all the virtuous virtuous deeds that Shakyamuni Buddha did in order for him to be liberated and to attain enlightenment. And he did this for eons, and they're in the Jakata tales, the Garland of Stories. I think that's what it's called. Garland of Stories. Anyway, he recounts, you know, what he did when he was a deer and when he was an ape and all the things that he did for humans when he interacted with humans and with, you know, animals of his own kind, and how he didn't, you know, it just didn't happen, you know, over one lifetime, even though he practiced a lot of ascetic practices. If there was anyone living at his time that were ascetics, he was probably one of the most austere, you know, because he sat under the Bodhi tree for 6 years and with, you know, just eating 1 kernel of rice a day in order to try to find a way to liberate himself. And he, you know, he did that, and he, you know, he found the middle way. You know, as you know the story, you know, how austerity is not good, and neither is living a life of a prince. You know, on the other spectrum, that the middle way was the way to liberation. And so he did all that, you know, in order to show us this teaching. And, you know, so Buddha Maitreya will be doing it, and I think other Buddhas I've also heard, like Buddha Manjushri, also did this in many lifetimes, you know, showing the general community, whatever the people around him, the correct way to practice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is sometimes this visualization is not explained or is not reviewed very often. And this is the refuge field visualization. And there's a merit field and there's a refuge field. So in Ganen Lagema, Lama Tsongkhapa explains the visualization and how to do it. And this might be something that you could do even before you start reciting the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. So what you do is you visualize in the space before you at about the height of your third eye, at the length of a full prostration of your body, so the length of your body, is a jewel-encrusted throne supported by 8 snow lines, so 2 snow lines on each corner. And on the throne, there are 3 cushions of light, one on top of the other, a lotus, sun, and moon disk. The lotus represents renunciation. So when a lotus grows in a muddy pond, then when the flower emerges, it's pure and free of the mud. Similarly, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas emerge from the muck of samsaric life. They were not perfect from the beginning. They began just like us. But they found a teacher and they practiced throughout many, many lifetimes until they obtained pure and complete freedom from cyclic existence. Now this, what I'm saying, I didn't make up yesterday, but this is from a teaching that Geshe-la gave to the nuns, the Kadamba Center nuns, 3 of us, Venerable Tendrola, Venerable Chokila, and me, on how to do the, on Ganen Lagema. And so these are his words. So we had that was a lotus for renunciation. And on top of that is the moon disk, which symbolizes bodhicitta. Just as the soothing light of the moon cools the misery of a hot day, Bodhisattva's compassionate attitude can extinguish the burning misery of all sentient beings. It always benefits. I also forgot to mention that Geshe-la received these teachings from Choden Rinpoche. And I also used some of the text from a book that was based on the teachings of Choden Rinpoche and translated into English. That's available. So I'm also using his words. Okay, so that was the lotus disk and then the moon disk. Now the sun disk on top of that symbolizes the wisdom realizing emptiness. Just as the sun clears away the darkness, wisdom eliminates ignorance and inner obstacles. The sun ripens things just as wisdom ripens the raw mind. Buddha Shakyamuni, sitting on the lotus, sun disk, and moon disk, symbolizes that he possesses these qualities. So the color of his body is like refined gold. His 1 head and 2 hands or 2 arms. His right hand is in the hand gesture mudra. Subduing the earth, that's the mudra, subduing the earth. And his left hand is in meditative equipoise, holding an alms bowl or begging bowl. So the hand mudra of touching the earth symbolizes that he has subjugated the 4 Maras. The Maras, that is the Lord of Death, the Mara of Afflictions, the 5 tainted aggregates, and the evil son of the gods. The left hand in meditative equipoise symbolizes that he is in single-pointed equipoise on the wisdom realizing shunyata, or emptiness. His body is clad in saffron robes, or robes of saffron hue, and is adorned with 32 major and 80 minor marks, which are the nature of light. He sits in a Vajra position with light radiating from his body. Although the light extends beyond nature, beyond measure, to ordinary beings it looks like it's just an arm's length. In front of Shakyamuni Buddha are the lamas who have given us teachings directly. To his left is a lineage of profound views such as Lord Manjushri and Arya Nagarjuna. To Shakyamuni Buddha's right is a lineage of method view or extensive conduct, such as Lord Maitreya, Master Shantideva, and Arya Sangha. Behind are Vajradhara, surrounded by the lineage of best practice, such as Lama Tisha. Below on terraces of lotus petals are the Buddhas of the four tantras, the lineage lamas of the four classes of tantra: Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Dharma protectors and guardians. In front of each of the objects of the refuge field are fine tables on which are their teachings and scriptures in the nature of light. And they are all very happy because we understand Guru Yoga as the root of the path and that we are practicing. So there are two causes for going for refuge, genuinely and effectively. First is fear of the suffering of the lower realms, which we must necessarily experience. The fear, the terror is so intense that we are very anxious to take refuge. And you take it from the bottom of your heart. And then there is the second cause is the conviction of faith that the three jewels will protect us from the lower realms and are perfectly capable of leading us to liberation and enlightenment by showing us the path. So visualize, well, before we visualize that, continue. Just think of all the sentient beings, including yourself, who have been suffering from beginning of time. We must liberate ourselves from suffering. The death of suffering is hard to see. The edge of suffering is as vast as an ocean and hard to find. So you're surrounded by all mother sentient beings. To your right is the father of this life, representing all male sentient beings. To your left is your mother of your life, representing all female sentient beings. In front are all your enemies and the various spirits, and behind is your circle of loved ones. Now, you visualize all these sentient beings and then recite out loud. Well, I will recite this for you because you may not have the text. The refuge prayers, if you are leading all of them from bondage and samsara. Now, there's 4 groups where we are taking refuge from. First is the glorious and immaculate gurus. While you're saying going refuge to the glorious and immaculate gurus, visualize streams of nectar descending from the 5 groups of gurus, the lineage of the lamas, and purify all negativities and obscurations we have committed from beginningless time, especially all the negativities and obscurations in relation to the guru, such as judging the lama based on his physical appearance, harming the lama's body, not following his advice, ignoring the lama's mind, disturbing the lama's life. Then light emits again and receive the blessing of the lama's body, speech, and not mind. And when you go for refuge to the Buddhas, the perfect Bhagawan Buddhas think that light flows from all the Buddhas and enlightened beings and purifies our negative karma, such as judging holy images or treating holy images as possessions. Enlighten us again and receive their blessings. And we go for refuge to the Immaculate Dharma. All the teachings of Sutra and Tantra and the teaching composed by the Lhama and their mental qualities are in the form of light on beautiful tables. Light from these go into our crown and purifies all negative karma relating to the Dharma teachings, such as abandoning the Dharma, stepping over books, putting the Dharma book on the floor. Second light from the Dharma blesses our body, speech, and mind. When taking refuge in the Dharma, the principal Dharma is the true cessation of the path, existing in the heart of the central deity. And then at the last, going for refuge, the Arya Sangha, think that the Sangha are all bodhisattvas, hearers, solitary realizers, and Dharma protectors who possess realizations are inside the mandala, not worldly Dharma protectors. The light from the Sangha purifies our negative karma, such as causing schism within the Sangha. Light emits again and receive their blessings. We are adopted by the Lamas and the Three Jewels. We are all under their protection. So I'm going to say this. So I'll pause between each group so you can think about it. I and all reincarnating beings, equal to the vastness of space, from now until reach the essence of enlightenment, go for refuge to the glorious and immaculate gurus. Go for refuge to the perfect Bhagawan Buddhas. Go for refuge to the Immaculate Dharma. Go for refuge to the Arya Sangha. I and all reincarnating beings, equal to the vastness of space, from now until we reach the essence of enlightenment, go for refuge to the glorious and immaculate gurus. Go for refuge to the perfect Bhagawan Buddhas. Go for refuge to the Immaculate Dharma. Go for refuge to the Arya Sangha. I and all reincarnating beings equal to the vastness of space, from now until we reach the essence of enlightenment, go for refuge to the glorious and immaculate gurus. Go for refuge to the perfect Bhagawan Buddhas. Go for refuge to the Immaculate Dharma. Go for refuge to the Arya Sangha. Now visualize a stream of 5-colored nectar and tubes of white light descend from the merit field or from the refuges into our crown, into our 5 places, purifying all faults created in relation to them. And we receive all their blessings. Now the resulting refuge. I think you know this one. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice and giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Now visualize that after you have recited the refuge and bodhicitta prayer, a replica of your Lhamo, inseparable from Shakyamuni Buddha, dissolves into your crown. And instantly, you become a Buddha. And that very next second, you send out infinite replicas of your Lhamo, inseparable from Shakyamuni Buddha, on the crowns of every sentient being in the 10 directions, as vast as space. And instantly, they attain Buddhahood. You might start with your family, your mother, your father, maybe your significant other, any children you have. Instantly, Buddhahood. And then maybe your distant relatives, aunt, uncle, cousin, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, your neighbors, your friends. People in the Western Hemisphere, people in the Eastern Hemisphere, everyone in the oceans, all the continents, all the universes, all the world systems, everywhere. And now rejoice. Rejoice because today we had the opportunity to do something for Shakyamuni Buddha. We have led all beings to enlightenment. It becomes the cause for all sentient beings to reach enlightenment. You will have access to that merit, and it will last a long, long time because there are many sentient beings. This type of merit cannot be easily destroyed by anger because it is sealed with bodhicitta. Reflect, I have established all sentient beings in the state of Buddhahood and have accomplished their purpose. Cultivate joy. Rejoice. Okay, and now we do the 4 immeasurables, but this is a different immeasurable. 4 immeasurables. We start with equanimity. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free of hatred and attachment, not holding some close and others distant. This is immeasurable aspiration. May they abide in equanimity, immeasurable prayer. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity, immeasurable responsibility. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable request. How wonderful if all sentient beings had happiness in the causes of happiness. May they have happiness in its cause. I myself will cause them to have happiness as cause. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free of suffering in its cause. May they be free of suffering in its cause. I myself will cause them to be free of suffering in its cause. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Then we generate special bodhicitta. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I shall quickly and more quickly actualize the Guru Deity's primordial state of Buddhahood in this very lifetime. Now we dissolve the mirror field. So the 5 sets of lamas, the lineage lamas that I described, and the lion throw dissolve into Shakyamuni Buddha like clouds in the sky. And then Shakyamuni Buddha dissolves into you and blesses you. And the refuge in bodhicitta practice is completed. Okay, now I wanted to share a text from Patrul Rinpoche. Sometimes Geshe-la mentions, he usually says Patrul Rinpoche. He says, we are in an age when anger, craving, ambition, stupidity, pride, and jealousy are the rule of the day. The poisonous emotions that saturate people's minds in this dark era are the principal cause of wandering in the psychic existence. So what is he talking about? He's talking about the 5 degenerations. The degeneration of thought, of view, of the times, and of sentient beings. So the degeneration of thought is that your afflictive minds and delusions are very powerful and hard to abandon. Degeneration of view is that you don't understand right view, or many people don't understand right view or karma. So they commit the 10 non-virtues. And I think you know this very well, degeneration of times. The times are full of earthquake, war, famine, and flooding. I should also add fire. And then the degeneration of sentient beings. So our health, physical form, intellect. I forgot about degeneration of lifespan. Your lifespan decreases from 100 years to 10 years. And now the degeneration of sentient beings. Declined health, physical form, intellect, thick skulled, and many have wrong view and an aversion to religion. So that we are in this degeneration times. Now back to Patrul Rinpoche. All the infinite phenomena of samsara nirvana are like magical illusions. Nowhere in the whole universe is there a single permanent, intrinsically existent entity to be found. There's never been a king who has kept his kingdom forever. Never someone born who did not die. Never a crowd that did not disperse. Everything is like a drama in which actors play out wars, passions, and death. Everything is like a dream, sometimes good and sometimes a nightmare. The ordinary concerns of samsara will finally leave no permanent traces than finger paintings on a pool of water. However hard we strive for success and happiness in this life, even if we work till we drop from sheer exhaustion, it will all be for nothing. For what can we take with us across the threshold of death? All the words and attitudes of samsara life, whether pleasant or unpleasant, kind or critical, are just echoes of emptiness. If you shout either insults or flattery at a cliff, and the words are echoed back to you, is there any reason to feel depressed or elated? The sounds of the universe, fire, wind, water, cries of animals, human speech, are without any real essence. They are just ungraspable, empty echoes. Replace negative thoughts with faith and love, ordinary gossip with prayers, pointless activities with prostrations and circumambulations, and you will be doing yourself a favor. to take monastic vows, respect your teacher, and make serious efforts in study, reflection, meditation, working on all your defects, is to do yourself an inestimable service. Just as the application of a drop of gold can transform an entire painting, so too the application of the teachings will completely transform your mind. If you have practiced the Dharma, your life has been meaningful, and even if you are suddenly struck and killed by a thunderbolt this very day, you need have no regrets. Now you may have wasted your life so far, but once you start to practice the Dharma, then however long you live, every instant of every day will be an immeasurable, precious chance to be with your teacher, to receive his instructions, and to practice them wholeheartedly until the day of your death. We should always be aware of the potential of even the most minute of our actions. We should also realize how rare and precious is the opportunity to be able to practice the Dharma. We may have this opportunity in our hands now, but at the moment, it could be taken away from us by death. We must not waste time. The constant thought of impermanence should spur us on to practice. In this decadent age, because of their limited intelligence and lack of determination, people need to practice the Dharma in an essentialized form. The practice of combining devotion to the teacher as inseparable from Chenrezig with the recitation of the six-syllable Mani mantra fulfill this need. This six-syllable mantra is so easy to recite, yet it concentrates within it the substance of all the Buddhist scriptures. It is the essence of Chenrezig's heart, and the blessings it brings are infinite. If you make it your main practice, human celestial beings and even harmful spirits will be well disposed to you, and you'll have a long life free from illness and obstacles. In your next life, you'll be born in the blissful Buddha field of the Potala mountain, or at least in a place where the Dharma prevails. This is because Chenrezig's mantra contains the infinite blessing and compassion of the Buddhas. Like waves, all the activities of this life have rolled endlessly on, one after the other, yet have left us empty-handed. Myriads of thoughts have run through our minds, each one giving birth to many more. But all they have done is to increase our confusion and dissatisfaction. Wouldn't it be better to meditate on the essence of the teachings and recite the Mani? Chenrezig's six-syllable mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, is the compassionate wisdom of all the Buddhas manifested as sound. Within it is contained the essential meaning of the 84,000 sections of the Buddha's teachings. Of all the mantras of various kinds, not one is superior to the six syllables of Chenrezig. It is said that to recite the Mani even once is the same as reciting the whole of the 12 branches of the Buddha's teachings. Reciting the six syllables of the Mani perfects the six perfections and firmly blocks any possibility of rebirth in the six realms of samsara. It's a simple practice, easy to understand and accessible to all, and at the same time, it contains the essence of the Dharma. When we invoke Chenrezig by reciting the Mani, we should never think that he is too far away to hear us in some distant Buddha field. Chenrezig is always there with whoever has faith in him. So this is a visualization. And visualize Chenrezig above your head. Think of him as no different from your root teacher, the teacher for whom you feel the greatest devotion. He is white in color, like the white of a snow peak reflecting 100,000 suns, dispelling the darkness of the whole universe. He has one head, 4 arms symbolizing loving kindness, compassion, rejoicing, and equanimity. And legs crossed in the Vajra posture, symbolizing the sameness of samsara nirvana. You're sitting on a 1,000-petal lotus and a moon disk. At his heart, one pair of hands holds a wish-granting jewel which bestows supreme and ordinary siddhis. He holds a crystal rosary to his right and a white lotus his left. The mala symbolizes unceasing compassion, extending like an unbroken thread through the heart of every being. His beautiful body, bearing all the marks and manners of a Buddha, is clad in jewels and silks. Our whole environment is transformed into Chandrasek's pure land of Sukhavati. Imagine the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum resounds everywhere. In Chandrasek's heart, visualize a 6-petal lotus upon which is a moon disk. In the center of the moon disk stands the syllable Shri, surrounded by the 6 syllables Om Mani Padme Hum, arranged clockwise in a circle like a string of pearls, radiating streams of light, which carry offerings to Sukhavati and all the infinite other Buddha fields. All these rays of light then return, carrying in the form of precious nectar both the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas, and dissolve into the mantra in Chandrasek's heart. Okay, now let's just chant Om Mani Padme Hum. I don't know if you are familiar with that. Let me see if I can, let me find it here for you if you're new to the teaching and you don't know. Here it is. Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now I will share it. It's also on page 37. So I'll just read the verse of praise, or you can come say it along with me. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, who said a perfect Buddha crowns at night, gazing compassionately all beings, to you, Chandrasek, all seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Now visualize boundless rays of light emanate from the mantra, dispelling the suffering of all sentient beings in the 6 realms, the searing heat and biting cold of the hells, the insatiable hunger and thirst of tortured spirits, the cruel stupidity, slavery, and abuse of the animal realm, human sufferings of birth, old age, sickness, and death, the jealousy and feuding of demigods, the anguish experienced by the gods when they fall to the lower realms. All beings are transformed into Chandrasek. Then the whole universe becomes the paradise of the Potala mountain. Then Rinpoche continues, he says, to do something virtuous with a commonplace motive will certainly bring us some happiness, but only temporarily. Such happiness will soon be gone, and our helpless roaming in samsara will continue. If, on the other hand, everything we do, say, and think is transformed by bodhicitta, our happiness will go on, increasing and never be exhausted. The fruit of actions motivated by bodhicitta, unlike that of positive actions done with less noble motives, can never be destroyed by anger or other negative emotions. So in conclusion, I just wanted to share my thoughts. You're probably wondering why I'm going on and on and on and on about this. So as I mentioned before, we live in the time of the 5 generations when the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha are in decline. When it becomes more and more difficult to find a community, and especially a teacher, where there are followers of genuine Dharma teachings. We have this extremely rare human rebirth, this marvelous brain that can hear and understand, analyze the teachings, read the teachings. Even being able to read is amazing. And we have perfectly qualified Mahayana teachers, a few who are qualified to give tantric vows. So just imagine how we could progress or gain with rebirth as an animal. So this is my question. So why be content with doing a watered down practice when we have direct access to the actual holy words of the various Buddhas, their mantras, the sutras, their teachings? This is why the monks at Serje Monastery memorize teachings and debate. And they don't just debate and learn a sense of the meaning of these teachings. They're the actual words that have been going on for generations. That's why His Holiness advised that followers of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, in order for his quick return, to recite the text chanting the names of Manjushri, not just to send happy thoughts. So until we realize emptiness, even our virtuous actions are not 100% virtuous. They're tainted with self-grasping. So we need authentic teachings and practices to progress on the path. There's no guarantee that our next rebirth will be a human rebirth with leisures and opportunities. We may have this vague idea that we know that some teachings exist, but it may be prohibited to access them, or qualified teachers. In some areas of Tibet, you're in prison if you have a picture of His Holiness. What would you do if you... And many of them, Geshe-la says, can't read or write. So now that we have this opportunity and, an education and this center, and our teachers, don't be content with just listening, but not integrating, not analyzing the teachings. Ask Geshe-la or ask your teacher for a solid practice and follow it every day while we still have the opportunity. And I'm saying this to myself also. I'm not exempt from this, Okay. So another thing I wanted to say before we start the dedication is that there is a huge difference between a practitioner and a non-practitioner. A practitioner doesn't necessarily experience fewer problems, complications, natural disasters, or setbacks. Oh no, they still have the same problems. But the difference is that a practitioner has the ability to rise and rise quickly when they meet adverse circumstances or when they commit non-virtues. They know that in every snap of the fingers, there are 65 moments, 65 opportunities to purify or to create positive karma. They know that this life is full of meaning and opportunity, but that it could end at any moment, and that rebirth as a human may not happen for a long, long time. As Venerable Pema Chodron once said, they know that, or we know, that we are in the middle of a sacred circle, and everyone and everything that comes in that circle is there to teach you what you need to know. In other words, it's not going to go away because, these delusions and afflictions can't be cleared away by the Buddhists. If they did, they would have done it for us eons ago, as soon as they were enlightened. And that's because those delusions and afflictions and all the obstacles to nirvana and enlightenment are caused by our own mind. And that's why only we can liberate ourselves. So please take this opportunity also to thank your former self for leading a life of pure ethics, because that's the cause for a perfect human rebirth. And please do a solid Dharma practice advised by your teacher, whatever it is, one that your future self will be thankful for and will quickly advance you on the path to liberation and enlightenment. Okay, so I am going to...
Venerable Lhamo.
Yes?
There's a couple of questions that came up. Are you open to answering?
Well, I'll try, but then mostly I'll say just ask Geshe-la when he comes back.
So one is, can you explain why we would visualize the refuge field?
To make your refuge heartfelt. And in order to take refuge, you need to know what you're taking refuge to. You need to know who they are. And it's also the practice of Ganden Lagema, which is the practice of Guru Yoga. And by doing this practice and making it familiar with you, then it gives you the opportunity to meet Lama Tsongkhapa teachings in future lives. And so, it's very important. And also, for example, when you're dying, you want to be able to visualize Shakyamuni Buddha and the refuge field before you, and it will, create merit. And that's why, like when you meditate, Buddhists are usually encouraged to choose a meditation object that is a Buddha, because when dying is a very, very difficult time, it's a very big challenge. So if you have that and you're familiar with that, then you can take refuge in it. And I said, oh, well, this is wonderful, Geshe-la. I'll just keep, for all my future lives, I'll just keep taking refuge. And, so then I'll be able to have a happy human rebirth. And he said, well, Lama, you can't do that every time. It's not going to work every time. You got to do more than that. You can't just take refuge. So anyway, but that's cause for, a happy rebirth. So anyway, I'm not saying that you have to do it every time. I do, I do the kind of like every morning, the Guru Yoga, but I really don't see any negative, any problem with doing it. And if you don't have time, which I don't know if, I know that, it doesn't take long. It takes about 3 minutes, to visualize the refuge field. If you don't have 3 minutes, that's good luck to you. But anyway, I just think that it's, one practice that creates so much merit, and we need, Geshe said that we need to accumulate a lot of merit, in order to not just progress, to realize emptiness. He said you need to accumulate oceans, skies of merit. So whatever practice, that's what, yeah, okay. I hope that helps.
Absolutely. And another question came up about the snow lions that are holding the throne. Can you explain what they represent or symbolize?
Okay, let me see if I have that. Okay, I think they symbolize. Did I not? Let's see, they're bodhisattvas. Yeah, that I don't have Ganden Lhamo up here yet. Let's see, so anyway, they're yeah, they. We'll have to find it. But yeah, I'm sure that they represent bodhisattvas. Let's see. Okay, trying to remember. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. No, I was wrong. There are either 4 or 8 snow lions. 4 snow lions symbolize 4 fearless inner qualities of Shakyamuni Buddha, and 8 snow lions, which Geshe usually says, symbolize the 8 inner qualities of enlightened Buddhas. So that's what they are, according to Choden Rinpoche. And if you want to know more, then there's a book, a commentary on Ganden Lhamo, yeah, that has been published. Anything else?
One more question came up from a student on Zoom. Can you please clarify what guru yoga is? And is that what we practiced this morning? Is it guru yoga?
Yes, that's part of the Lamrim, is how to rely on a teacher, the root of the path. So the guru is the root of the path. Without the guru, a qualified teacher, we can't progress on the path. And when we do what he says, it's, amazing how we can accumulate merit. Because he's the one that we can, for example, without a guru, we can go to the library, we can buy to the bookstore and buy all kinds of books. But we need someone who can show us what they actually mean, explain them to us, how to integrate it, and whether your analysis is correct or not. So, guru yoga is just the way of honoring the guru, the practice. Yoga is practice, so the practice of depending on the guru. That's anybody have anyone? Please help me. Anyone have a better explanation of guru yoga? No. Yeah. It also creates the cause and condition to have gurus in our next lives. Okay. All right. Thank you. So
Thank you.
let's see. Let me share the screen. Okay. All right. So if you go to page 246 in the Gold Prayer Book, will read the dedication verses from Master Shantideva. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power. May people think of benefiting each other for as long as sentient beings remain. Until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Then turn to page 244 for the long life prayer for holiness. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Page 245, the long life prayer for Sarah J. Kinzer Rinpoche Jitsen Losandela. The one who masters speech at a very young age, the one with great patience, received the name Alatare. The one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Sokapan, bliss and void, Lama ornament of the yellow hat tradition. Please remain until samsara ends. And then the back cover, prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I'm sorry? Oh, peerless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious Swan, Shravakas, and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the Alps, refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wear the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly depart in peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children and victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And then in the front cover, the back of the front cover, prayer for the long life of Geshe-la. Supreme Guide, you lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give us the best of excellent explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are constant Dharma companion. Lama, who has announced fame, may you ever remain. And then right below that, the one for Geshe Sampo. You have steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities and keep the instructions of the glorious Guru in your heart. You pass day and night with noble activities. Great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And then 7 Dharma mantras to benefit all beings. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. You don't have to wait for me. I have to put things away. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, joining us on Zoom and YouTube, as well as here in person in the Gampa. Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, Carmen. Bye, Christine.